Okay, so today we are talking about Rising of the Shield Hero. Season 4 came out. I finally watched it. If you know anything about me, I normally wait till the season ends to watch a show unless it's The Apothecary Diary or something I just can't wait for. Spy Family, I probably won't be able to wait for either. If it's into my top 5 anime, it's just like I kind of have to watch it weekly, but it's funny because Shield Hero is in my top 5 as well, but Shield Hero, if you know the series, it has some ups and downs. The first season of Shield Hero is one of the best anime seasons of all time. 10 out of 10, max. It's fantastic. It will make you love the series, just that one season alone. Season 2 I thought was pretty good, even though people didn't like it. It's actually the most boring part in the manga and light novel, and it does 2 different variations of Shield Hero. There's multiple endings for Shield Hero 2. It gets really complicated because it also has a web series. So the thing about Shield Hero is I did like season 2. A lot of people did not, but that's fine. I thought they did a good job with the material that was given for the Spirit Tortoise. Season 3 is when I start having a problem with the Shield Hero. Season 3 the animation does get souped up from season 2, but season 3 is the Fallen Hero arc, which is supposed to be really good, but there's a lot of issues with it for me, like the Rafteria and Philo are main characters. I mean, there's a whole main cast for Shield Hero, but they are essentially higher than main cast. And Philo gets sent out to train off screen for like half the season. And they don't even touch on Rafteria till like towards the end of the season. And I just felt like that was a shame. I did like the introduction of Murder Clown. I think she was great. She's not as good in season 4. She needs a mask. But the way she talks and how they do the voice, I think is clever. But I didn't care for... I don't dislike the tiger children that you see in the background, though. They're fine, but when you put them in place of Philo and Rafteria, I have a huge problem with that. And that's what happened. So I didn't like season 3, and I thought the hero's reasoning for, you know, being all messed up as they were really bad. The Spearhero gets left in some random town halfway through the season, and he's just like, they all skip out on him because he's a creep. Let's not mince words. He's after Philo, who has the appearance of a child, but he's definitely a creep and goosebump worthy, but I feel like they just left him there. Like, he wasn't even part of the Fallen Hero arc, even though he's probably the one that butted heads with Naofumi the most. The Sword Hero had an interesting like comeback. I liked how they did the Sword Hero. But the Bow Hero, his whole methodology for the way he was so stupid. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, back to season 4. I thought season 4 was a sign of back to form. Now, there is some problem with season 4. There is some moments where you can see that the animation really dips in quality. And for a series like Shield Hero, which is one of the most popular animes on the planet, right? For them not to have great fights like Jujutsu Kaisen, or great fights like any anime you can pull up, Frieren. Of course, Frieren's done by Wick Studio for their fights. Spy Family even has better fight animation. Again, Wick Studio. Just hire Wick Studio to do everyone's fights. That would be great. Or at least Mappa, right? Mappa can do good fights. But Wick Studio is my favorite in this genre. For them not to have something like that is a shame. There was one really good fight in season 4, and that's at the end. That's the final episode of the season, and that was Rafteria versus the Old Emperor. That fight was actually fantastic. How it was done. The animation is still not up to par, but at least the quality of the fight I could totally dig with, and I enjoyed every second of the fight. In fact, episode 12 is my favorite episode of season 4. Now, where season 4 does come up back to form is it does put the focus back on Philo and Rafteria a little bit, but mostly Rafteria, which is fine. It's one of the two, so as long as we have like a focus on one of those two. And now Fumi, Rafteria, and Philo are the center of this anime, and they need to be treated as such. For the first half of the season, it wasn't that great. It was focused on the Tiger Cubs again. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't great, alright? But the second half is entirely on Rafteria and her journey, and also Rafteria's friend, the Water Nico, or the former Water Nico. I really liked her backstory in this, but it really spotlighted Rafteria and how much she's grown and stuff, and I really like it. Also, it gave me goosebumps on where we left off in the series. I thought was excellent too. I'm excited to see what happens further. As you know, I don't read manga as much as I'm an anime watcher, and I kind of know what happens to Naofumi in like all three versions. However, the anime could go a different way. Rising Shield Hero is fairly different just because the anime can go like any direction it wants on some of these endings for Shield Hero because it has so many different series. But I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it. I don't know all the nuances because I didn't read it. I just kind of looked ahead like 3 years ago. So anyway, I'm excited where we are. Rafteria is now emperor of her like homeland, which is fantastic. Naofumi is literally a king in Silvervale, like Silvervelt, whatever it's called. It's literally a king though. So not only does Naofumi run his own nation, he literally runs a second nation, and Rafteria has her own nation, so they literally have... The Shield Hero may be the most powerful person on the planet as far as, like, military force now. Which is a little bit exciting, because he's also best friends with Malmark now, like, the nation Malmark. So, you have 4 nations that's influenced heavily by the Shield Hero, if not ruled by the Shield Hero. Right? Because Rafteria is still Naofumi's sword with being an emperor, so she is... So technically, her land is run by the Shield Hero, even though she could defy him. If you know Rafteria, she wouldn't defy him. She would be all like, "You want that done? Even though I don't know why? Let's do it. I trust you." That's the way she would be. So I'm very excited about Season 5. I'm very excited where the story is going. This is one of those animes that has garnered so much favor with me for its best start in like anime history ever, that I'm able to forgive things like Season 3 and the animation drops in Season 4 and some of the lackluster story between Season 3 and the first half of Season 4. I have high hopes for it. I hope they fix the animation problems that we saw in Season 4, because we saw those in Season 2, and then they fixed them for Season 3, and then they came back in Season 4. So I'm not sure why that would be. Also, Shield Hero, you have enough money. Hire Wick Studio. Like, just tell them, I want fight scenes like, like you do. And do that. Shield Hero has the potential to be one of the greatest animes of all time if they fixed up the stuff, because there's still lots of seasons of Shield Hero left that they could do. I am thankful that we get the announcements for Shield Hero quite early. Like, as soon as episode 12 aired on September 24, we got Season 5 announcement, and we had the Season 4 announcement around the same time when Season 3 ended. So we're not in like this loop of wondering if we're gonna get another season of Shield Hero. If they alienate more people, it could potentially cut off the final seasons of Shield Hero, and I don't think that's gonna happen because it's still immensely popular. As we're looking at it on Crunchyroll now, even with the problematic seasons. And like I said, most people consider 2 a problematic season, even though I didn't really. But it's still 4.7. Like, some of these characters, like Rafteria, Philo, Naofumi, and I would even say I'm blanking on the name, but the Water Nico and the party. I would say that those characters are kind of becoming timeless, especially the first three. I mean, I even forgot her name right now. It's something like I can't even remember her name. It's something that I'm not able to pronounce that well, so I kind of just call her Whale Lady. But if you've seen the anime, you would get the nickname. But these characters are starting to become timeless, especially the craftsman that used to be an adventurer, and then they added his master to the series. I feel like some of these characters I'll never forget for the rest of my life, even though I may forget their names. I'm not gonna forget like their impact on the series or anything like that. So Shield Hero has a lot going for it. It just matters how you tell the story. Oh, I didn't even notice Philo's right here though. I was all like, where's Philo when I'm talking about like these main characters? Philo's on top of the tower over there. But yeah, so I like season 4. I don't think it's as good as it could have been. Season 4 as a season by itself, I would give an 8.1, and I think that's fair. It's better than what I gave season 3 of Shield Hero, which was a 7.3. So it's much better. Like I said, they need to look at season 1, see what they did in season 1, and copy that formula. We should get 24, 25 episodes. And then, like, really take your time with it. People like to see these characters interact. Like, Shield Hero definitely has enough money. It gets announced literally the final episode of every season that there's a new season. Why not just use that money and make the series as great as it can be? That's just my opinion. But I'm excited for season 5. I'm excited where the story has gone, especially from the final episode of season 4. And if you haven't seen Rising of the Shield Hero, it's definitely worth your time. Like I said, the first season is one of the best seasons in all of anime history, and that's the doctor's opinion right there. Alright? So, doctor's prescription today. If you haven't seen Rising of the Shield Hero, you should do it. And season 5, coming next year, it looks like. Alright, have a good day.